Welcome to The Fame, your go-to channel for all things Duggar and beyond. Today, we've got some major updates from the Duggar universe that you won't want to miss. First up, we're diving into an intriguing piece of Duggar family history, focusing on the eldest daughter, Jana Duggar. Known for her calm and composed demeanor, it might surprise fans to learn that Jana wasn't always the picture of poise we see today. Believe it or not, even Jim Bob Duggar once referred to her as quite the hellion when she was a child. What happened to that spirited little girl? How did she transform into the quiet, dutiful woman we know today? Stick around as we uncover the layers of her childhood and the strict upbringing that shaped her. Next, legal drama alert. Jason Duggar is facing a lawsuit, and while details have been swirling, I've taken the time to dive deep into the legal complaint. Don't worry, this isn't legal advice, but I'll break down the case in a way that's easy to digest. Trust me, you won't want to miss this deep dive into Jason's latest controversy. Then, we're throwing it back to Joseph and Kendra Duggar's 2017 engagement, and let's just say it's a blast from the past. Their take on engagement was, let's call it adorably naive. To them, it wasn't about building a future together, but more like, you can hold hands and say I love you. Yes, that's engagement Duggar style. Finally, some exciting updates from the Duggar world. Jana Duggar's wedding is still making headlines, but now there's buzz about something even more surprising, a possible Duggar vow renewal. Fans are speculating that one of the counting on couples could be preparing to say I do all over again, and Reddit is full of theories on who might be next down the aisle. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from The Fame. Let's get into it. While Jana Duggar's quiet and nurturing presence stands out today, her childhood was reportedly full of spunk and energy. In Jim Bob Duggar's words, Jana was a hellion when she was younger, a comment that has lingered in the minds of fans, hinting at a more free-spirited side of Jana that seems to have been curbed over the years. Some fans speculate that this transformation might have been a result of the strict parenting methods the Duggar are known for, including practices like blanket training. It's been said that Jana, along with her siblings Jill and John David, were often mistaken for triplets due to their closeness in age. According to Jill Duggar, Jana was the outgoing and bold one, while she and John David were more reserved. This paints a picture of a young girl full of energy, contrasting the more subdued role she has taken on as an adult. Michelle Duggar has even remarked that Jana's energy as a toddler was very similar to her younger sister Johanna, known for her lively personality. But while Johanna's spirited nature is still somewhat visible today, fans can't help but wonder what happened to Jana's spark. Speculation runs deep that Jana, like many of her siblings, may have undergone a transformation due to the Duggars' strict disciplinary methods, especially their use of the controversial to train up a child method, which encourages corporal punishment. Though it's unclear if Jana herself was subject to blanket training, many believe that the strict environment she was raised in might have beaten the life out of her, as one fan sadly remarked. As the eldest daughter in such a large family, Jana took on responsibilities far beyond her years, often stepping into the role of a second mother. Over time, fans speculate that the pressure to conform to her family's values and expectations wore down the spirited little girl that Jim Bob once described. While her siblings like Jill and Ginger have since distanced themselves from their conservative upbringing, Jana remains close to the Duggar family's teachings, further solidifying her place as the good daughter. But it's hard not to wonder, what would Jana be like today if her free spirit had been nurtured rather than stifled? Jana's story raises questions about the effects of growing up in a highly controlled environment, where strict discipline often overshadowed childhood joy. While we may never know all the details of her transformation, it's clear that Jana Duggar's journey from a hellion to a soft-spoken woman is as complex as it is heartbreaking. What do you think? Was Jana's spirit lost in the pressures of her upbringing, or is there more to her story that we've yet to uncover? Next, we're diving into some hot legal drama surrounding none other than Jason Duggar. He's now facing a lawsuit, and there's been a lot of speculation about the details. Well, I've taken the time to read through the legal complaint thoroughly, and I'm here to break it all down for you in a way that's easy to understand. Keep in mind, this is not legal advice, but an analysis based on what's been shared so far. So, let's get into it. This lawsuit has grabbed attention for many reasons, but the main takeaway is that Jason Duggar is being accused of some serious issues. The plaintiff, Mark Thompson, is alleging that Jason and his business, Build Master Construction, failed to follow through on a contract after Thompson purchased a property from Madison Holding, LLC. The story begins with the plaintiff's purchase agreement, where Jason was identified as the contractor responsible for completing certain post-sale property alterations. However, things didn't go as planned. According to Thompson, Jason essentially ghosted him, leaving the work undone and offering to pay for the cost of the missed work, only to disappear again. The allegations also point to Jason providing a contractor's license number that doesn't match any active licenses in Arkansas. This has raised questions about whether he misrepresented himself or if there was a mix-up with his LLC. Now, let's talk about Madison Holding, LLC. It was formed in June 2023, and the name William Ross Little Jr. has surfaced as its officer. Interesting side note, Little has a connection to the Duggar family, having donated to Jed Duggar's political campaign. While it's unclear if Madison Holding is directly tied to the Duggar, it's safe to say there are social or political links there. As for the lawsuit itself, it includes several allegations: breach of contract, negligence, fraud, and more. But remember, just because these claims are made doesn't mean they're automatically true. Courts will consider them, but we've seen cases where allegations like these don't always hold up under scrutiny. So what could happen next? The lawsuit is still fresh, having been filed in September 2024. Both Madison Holding and Jason Duggar will need to respond to the complaint, and from there, we'll likely see discovery requests. Things like asking for proof of communication between Jason and subcontractors, or admissions about whether Jason claimed to have a valid license. It's also possible that Jason might file a cross-complaint, pushing the blame onto subcontractors or even Madison Holding if he feels they were responsible. One of the big questions is, why is there an incorrect license number on the agreement? Some people have speculated that it's actually a federal tax ID number, FINE, which might explain why it doesn't match a contractor's license. Still, the fact remains that Jason's business, Buildmaster Construction, did have a license at one point, but it expired in March 2023. This leaves a lot of uncertainty about whether Jason misrepresented his qualifications. While Thompson has some strong claims, there are also areas that raise skepticism. For example, why wasn't the exact date of Jason's last communication provided? And why was one of Jason's texts cut off in the complaint? These details could be important, and their absence might suggest that the plaintiff's case isn't as solid as it seems. But this is just the beginning of the legal battle, and we'll have to wait and see how the defendants respond. So, what do you think? Is Jason Duggar in serious legal trouble? Or could this all be a mix-up? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This case is just getting started, so we'll be following it closely. Then we're diving into a blast from the past with Joseph and Kendra Duggar's 2017 engagement announcement, and let's just say it's a trip. These two have always come across as a bit, well, let's just call it adorably naive. Their view on engagement, not about building a future together or committing to marriage, but simply that you can hold hands and say, "I love you." Yup, you heard that right. Engagement is basically next-level courtship to them. Kendra Caldwell, who was just barely 19 when she got engaged, summed it up best when she explained how courtship differs from engagement. We can hold hands and say, "I love you." Now, for most of us, engagement is about planning a life together, making serious commitments, and preparing for marriage. But for these two, it's more about moving on to the next step in their conservative world of courtship rules. Silly as for thinking engagement was about adult responsibilities. It's hard to believe that this young couple, who seemed like kids themselves back in 2017, now have 4 children. And yet, something about them still screams teenagers in love. Fans have often joked that Joe and Kendra, lovingly nicknamed Jokin, are like 2 orange cats sharing one brain cell. Sweet, innocent, and blissfully unaware of the bigger world outside their bubble. Joe, who many agree aged faster than expected, might look young, but his thinning hairline definitely tells another story. Still, fans often poke fun at Joe's appearance, with some even calling him Thick Daddy Joe for his larger build, especially compared to his brothers. Now let's talk about Kendra. At the time of their engagement, she was a 19-year-old girl making giggly comments about finally being able to hold hands with her future husband. Meanwhile, fans who were the same age or a bit older were living very different lives, attending college, traveling, building careers, and enjoying their freedom. It's a stark contrast that has left many wondering how someone so young could be thrust into motherhood, homeschooling, and running a household. But if we're being real, Joe and Kendra seem completely happy in their bubble. They've never questioned the strict rules of their upbringing, and many believe they won't ever stray from the traditional Duggar lifestyle. The couple has faced plenty of scrutiny, particularly because fans worry worry about the future of their children. With parents who never truly had the chance to experience life beyond their small, sheltered world, some viewers fear that their kids will be raised with the same lack of critical thinking. But in true Duggar fashion, Joe and Kendra seem unfazed by outside opinions. And honestly, maybe that's for the best. So while Joseph and Kendra may come across as two orange cats sharing one brain cell, there's no denying that they found happiness in their own way. In their insular world, they're the perfect match, both blissfully unaware and unbothered by the outside noise. And maybe, just maybe, that's the secret to their long-lasting marriage. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Joe and Kendra's bubble will ever burst, or are they destined to live out their days in Duggar bliss? Finally, we've got some exciting updates for you from the Duggar world. With Jana Duggar's wedding still making headlines, it seems that the family spotlight isn't dimming anytime soon. But it's not just about her stunning wedding dress or the secretive engagement anymore. Now, fans are buzzing with speculation that we may be getting the first ever Duggar vow renewal. Could one of the Counting On couples be preparing to say "I do" all over again? Let's dive into what's going on, including who fans think could be next down the aisle and the big theories circulating on Reddit. Jana Duggar's recent wedding to Stephen Wisman left fans in awe, and the conversation hasn't stopped. After her nuptials, Jana shared some beautiful close-up photos on Instagram, showcasing her elegant V-neck ivory satin gown. Many have praised it as one of the most stunning wedding dresses ever worn by a Duggar daughter. Fans were also impressed by the fact that Jana and Stephen managed to keep their engagement under wraps until the very day they tied the knot. Despite all the positive feedback surrounding Jana's big day, some fans are looking ahead, and not just to future weddings. A major buzz on Reddit has sparked speculation that we might be seeing the very first Duggar vow renewal soon. One sibling in particular is at the center of this chatter: Jessa Duggar Seawald. According to some Reddit users, Jessa could be the one to renew her vows first. Why? Well, it turns out that her wedding dress from a decade ago remains unaltered, leading fans to think she might want to celebrate her upcoming 10th anniversary with husband Ben Seawald in a special way. A vow renewal would certainly mark the occasion beautifully. Fans also pointed out that Jessa has spoken before about how chaotic her wedding day was, and some speculate that she may want to redo the big day with less stress this time around. But not everyone agrees. While some think Jessa and Ben are a strong candidate for a vow renewal, others have different ideas. Ginger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo were mentioned as another couple who might renew their vows, but fans suspect it would be more for content creation than sentimental reasons. And of course, there's always Josh and Anna Duggar. Despite Josh's legal troubles, some Reddit users believe they might go for a vow renewal after he's released from prison. As one commenter joked, "They've been married the longest of all the Duggar couples, so why not?" But it's not just vow renewals that are stirring up excitement. There's also talk of an upcoming wedding in the Duggar family. Jason Duggar recently got engaged to Maddie Grace. Jason popped the question on August 24th at a beautiful beach, which some fans think is the same one where they first shared photos together. While there's no official date yet, the hashtag Spring2025 feed in their post seems to hint that their wedding will take place next year. So, while Jana's wedding is still fresh in our minds, it looks like the Duggar family may be gearing up for another big celebration. With so much happening in the Duggar world, there's never a dull moment. Whether it's the speculation about who will renew their vows first or the excitement surrounding Jason Duggar's upcoming wedding, fans can't stop talking. What do you think? Will we see Jessa and Ben renew their vows for their 10-year anniversary, or do you have other couples in mind? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the latest updates from the fame. See you next time.